No, the orientation of the live is this way. Even though, like, I set it on my thing to...
Mm-hmm. I don't think I saw anything when I said it, like, scheduled it to be locked a certain way.
Well, I guess it is. Let me see if we can... Because look, when I try to... And my... Oh. Yeah. So it's fine.
How will we possibly manage?
Okay.
We did it. We made it.
Let me... I cut out now. Yes! Oh.
Perfect.
On accident. Yay!
Good things
do happen. This is what dreams. Okay. Howdy.
Hi, people.
Received text from ATU Foundation. No, thank you. So, pop culture news. Go for it.
We are 1 week away from BTS being back.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Happy for you.
The Wicked Part 2 trailer came out.
I haven't watched it yet.
I watched it last night, and what is that saying there? Invite another creator. No, thank you.
No, we're good. We don't like you that much.
I watched it last night, and there are parts in there. Like, I know there's obviously going to be more stuff because they, like, created a whole second movie out of Act 2.
Yeah.
And, like, I know that they're adding new songs and things. So, obviously, there are going to be things that I don't know. But it's like, there's stuff happening in that trailer, and I'm just like, what exactly did you get up to, John Nemchu?
Interesting.
Because Carrie and I were just talking about the end of Wicked yesterday, because she's not seen the show, so she doesn't know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's been a while since I've seen the show.
Mm-hmm.
But
so it's just like, is what I think is going to happen still going to happen, or are they going to change it to be either dramatic or more like the book as opposed to the musical?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I want to know, but also I'm afraid. Because I love Wicked Part 1, so it's like John redeemed himself with that one, but I was very scared going into it because of what they did to In the Heights.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh God, are they going to mess it up on the back half?
Mm.
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm still going to watch it, obviously, but I am scared now.
Your door being closed by
Hello.
Oh, okay. I was about to be like, yeah. Your hair looks good. Your whole outfit looks good. I like your hair like that when you wear your hair like that.
Thank you.
It's nice. It was Sophia, our transportation advocate. I wouldn't actually talk to a client that way. Let it be known. Taylor Swift got her rights back.
Yes.
That's very good. Yay, Taylor. Good for you. We're happy for you. I really don't know anything else. I'm kind of brain dead. I'm going to be honest with you.
Same.
This week has been so fast yet so long at the same time. I think it's because I've had to come in early so much this week and like...
I've been operating on basically like 10% of my brain power since last Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, that's all I've got to give, and we're giving all of it.
That's okay.
Yep.
My kids yesterday
drew beautiful pictures of you.
That was horrible. No. I looked like the Beware of Ogre sign from Shrek, but...
Aren't they doing a Shrek live action, or am I imagining that?
No. I think they're doing another Shrek, and Zendaya's in it.
Okay, that's the Shrek news.
Well,
if they live action it, you can just write in, be like, forget Mike, go with me. I've got the Beware of Ogre sign ready.
Yeah. Hi, thank you for joining on YouTube.
Hello.
Your thing actually worked.
Yes.
But yeah, it was crazy yesterday with the teenagers. They were like, we don't use emojis anymore with Zoe. And I was like,
Yes,
what?
you do.
Yes, you do.
Don't
even lie to
lie.
me. You guys use emojis and everything.
They just do
You
their own
literally
secret
said
emoji language.
LOL out loud just now. Don't even. They just.
They want to pretend they're too cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like, now that Miss Zoe told us emojis exist, we're no longer interested.
Yeah.
We actually stopped using those
Yeah.
today as soon
Yeah.
as you said
I've actually never heard of an emoji.
that.
We call them emoticons.
Yeah. So. Okay.
These are our cryptograms.
Yeah. Jeez. You ready to get into the book?
I guess so. Oh wait, we haven't heard about Brittany Broski. Has she had do we not want to hear about Brittany Broski?
She has released more new songs. She made me cry on her podcast again. Like, she always makes me cry. She's always like, oh, I don't know, why you make me. But yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I have not been like using my brain power to do that. I've been just using it to survive.
Same.
So
It's like, let's talk about our book where girls going through deep depression as we're both actively depressed.
yes. We read What My Bones Know this month. Tori actually has the physical book. I have it on my Kindle. And you also have. Did you also get it on your Kindle?
No. I have this one. I got this month's book on my Kindle.
Okay, I need to get this.
But it's
month's
like,
book.
this one, I went crazy marking up. Watch out, Twilight. We're coming for you.
It's not as much as Twilight, though.
No. I mean, I've got a fair amount highlighted, but flags of, remember this part, dummy. Not as bad. Excellent book, though. I love this one.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
It's like, it might be up there in my favorites.
It's very, very good. The first question for this was, What My Bones Know opens with the author in a session with her longtime therapist. What is your relationship to therapy? Have you ever been? If so, did you find it useful or helpful? Why or why not?
When I was a child, I like vaguely remember going to family therapy one time.
Yeah.
There may have been more, and my brain just blocked it out. But I remember one session. And it's like, I have not gone as an adult, but I feel like I need to. And my sister tells me all the time, you need therapy.
You need to go.
So it's on my list of things to do as soon as I, get over the mental hurdle of I'm gonna go pay money to be vulnerable with a stranger, which sounds like my worst nightmare.
I get that. I get that.
But I know therapy is great, and I would recommend to anyone to go to therapy. I'm just a big chicken. So do with that what you will.
I have been to therapy. I never went when I was younger. Well, I did. I did one time, and I think it like really scarred me. And it was the school counselor, and I was having a bullying situation. And
your school counselor actually did like therapy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you had to like go.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, but she was evil, so
Oh, no.
you going and signing up for her stuff was horrible. She was not a good therapist at all.
That's probably why
like
she worked
I
in
have
a
so
school
many,
as opposed to a
I know
therapy
I have
office.
so many stories on her. I'll tell a funny one after this because it's gonna be like, oh my god. But I went. You had to go put. You had to fill out a piece of paper to like go to her office and put it in her mailbox, and she would come like she would just like draw out of the mailbox randomly, and like she would get to you when she got to you. So I was having this bullying issue with this kid who was like much older than me. It was this guy, and I would tell my teacher all the time like he's pulling my hair, he put gum in my hair, like he called me this name, he hit me, blah 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 blah. And she was like, okay, I'll do something about it. She like never did anything about it.
Of course not.
Sophia, the cleaning people are here. And so like I went and sat in her office for forever. When she finally did call me, and I told her like, oh well, like the teacher said like to just like basically ignore it. Like she said she was going to do something and then never did. And so she gets up during our therapy session and goes and stands in line, and I'm just in her office for 45 minutes by myself.
Stand in line where?
Standing in line in the office to go get the principal into the office, into her office to tell me not to waste her time. Because there was no way that the teacher just said, oh, I'm going to handle it, and never did anything. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. So I got in trouble for telling her that the teacher had told me that, and I was wasting her time. So I did not go back to therapy, and my family
understandably so
not a therapy driven, like they think medication and stuff like that is not a thing, that you don't need it. Therapy especially is not a thing that you need. My next therapy session that I tried, it was in college, and I absolutely lost my mind my first session and cried because I was at such a rock bottom. And my therapist died because I was telling her things that were going on, and her eyes were just like this, and she started crying, and I was like, validating, but no, you're clearly not the right therapist for me. So my new...
It's like one of us needs to hold it together here.
Yes. And so it was one session and I was done. So 2 sessions very, very far apart. And then I had a therapist on BetterHelp at the beginning of the year, last year, and I really, really liked her, but BetterHelp is very expensive. The lie that they tell you that, like, BetterHelp is affordable, like, no, it's not. It's like $160 a month, which is, compared to, like, some therapists that where you spend that per session, that is affordable, but, like, when you work our job... That's not great. And that was the limited. Like, I could only, like, have 1 live session with her a month, and I did better with live sessions. And at first she was great. I felt like she was very, like, she would listen, but, like, I found out through going to her that I needed somebody who was going to have a conversation with me. And I had never had that before. And so it was kind of weird to have, like, a therapist to break up. And be like, you did what you did for me at the time, but, like, you're not it for me anymore, so I'm gonna have to, like, go. Plus, you're super expensive, and I don't make enough money to pay for you, so bye. My therapist now, I absolutely love her. She's an art therapist. I do all this really fun, crafty stuff with her now. And she's just, like, a really nice human being. I wish I would have brought my, like, art therapy journal, but, like, through this whole journey of, like, just sitting down and, like, doing something creative and, like, doing fun stuff that, like, gets my emotions out, it's been great. And I know for a lot of people, like, they, like, have that struggle with, like, oh, different medications, you have to just find the right one that works for you. Like, therapy is definitely one of those things. And, I mean, in the book, Stephanie goes through that with all of her therapy is finding what works for her. And it took me a bit to find what works for me, but now I love my therapist. And she's free, so that's always nice. Always nice. But, yeah, that was very long-winded. I can tell you a very funny story about the school therapist, though. Oh.
Hey, so if there's someone at the door,
With a
I think it's the toner.
Sure. Oh. Deb started to she brought, because it was during the whole like dare, like don't do drugs are bad for you, dare watchdogs and blah 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 blah. So she brought the dare officers to Dardanelle to all of these 6th graders, and he's showing like actual like needles and actual like things, illicit substances. And
it looks like he was coming inside, so it's just,
I think he
is. What exactly is happening?
It's probably heavy.
I mean, it's not that heavy. It's just a brainer tumor. Unless Carrie ordered like 12 of them. Okay.
But he
wants to come
is
install it again.
passing around these baggies of stuff, and he's like, I better get back all my things. And with one of those things, he ended up with an extra one. It was like, and you just see the disappointment on his face because he was like, oh, okay. But he ended up with an extra thing, and she was like, you're embarrassed me in front of the police officer. I cannot believe you did that.
Thank you, Sophia.
But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Can you sign the top part? And I was like, yeah, do you have a pen? He said no.
Okay, interesting. Very helpful.
Yeah, that was my whole therapy spiel. Yay, therapy.
Excellent story. All right, next question. When Foo receives her diagnosis of CPTSD, she is both relieved and devastated. Why was naming her mental illness so important to her, and what did it change? What is the power of a diagnosis in your opinion? You've got your notes, so I'll let you go first.
So I can understand like why it was devastating for her, because when I was I'll give that answer and then I'll go back because with the question. So she'd spent like 8 years in therapy at that point, and then finally, and her therapist acted like she had known all along, which I would understandably be like super frustrated with. Like, why are you just telling me now? And why are you telling me at the end of our session when you have to go? Why are you not elongating our session, knowing who I am as a person, knowing I'm going to spiral and be like, because that's exactly what happened to her.
Like, I get that she told her in the first session, but it's just like, clearly you see her suffering for years. It's like, maybe you should get to the root of addressing the issue.
Yeah. And the way she did it is just crazy business.
Yeah.
But she, having that diagnosis really forced her to confront her trauma and the long road ahead it had. And then I think on the other side it was a relief because it really validated her and gave her some sort of framework to understand herself. But as she starts like exploring and everything, she sees that there's like nothing out there. So like I can understand the like devastating of like there's nothing out here, I'm a freak and that she was feeling. I mean it. And then it also, like, it kind of goes hand in hand, the devastation and the relief that comes with it, because it makes it, like, tangible, and it makes it something, instead of you just feeling like it's this abstract thing that only you're going through. I mean, you get a little bit more of a framework of, like, this is something that other people are experiencing, even though there was, like, nothing out there.
Yeah.
And the things that were out there were mostly for vets and stuff like that. But I wrote that having that diagnosis in general, and the power that's with it really helps to provide some sort of clarity, validation, and direction. And like she went through a ton of different things before she really found what works for her. And I think, I mean, the place she was in to even be able to write this book shows how much she has healed and managed her symptoms, because I mean there isn't a cure-all. We get into that in a different question, but I relate to this part because I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and I have very high functioning depression and anxiety. So, and with the way my family works, they were like, oh no, depression's not a thing, anxiety's not a thing, you don't need to medicate, blah blah blah.
Those are real.
And when I finally I was like, hey, in case you see this, because like I was riding out their insurance until I couldn't ride it out anymore.
Yeah.
So it was like, if you see this is why I'm telling you, and being upfront with it, so it's not like a thing later. They were like, why? You don't need that. And then I go in, and with depression, for anybody who hasn't taken those tests, they make you test. And you answer some questions and that sort of thing. It's a general screener. And it ranks you with everything. And I was so nervous going in, because I have test anxiety. So I was like, you're making me take a test. What if I perform badly? I did perform badly because I had severe depression and anxiety. And it was like, oh, because it was like, okay, this makes sense. Okay. And then it, like, I went home and just, like, cried. Because it was like, oh, okay. Like, it's so validating. But then it's like, oh, okay, now I'm on this medication. And I have to be on this medication to feel okay. And, like, this is ridiculous that I'm going to have this pill for, like, the rest of my life. Or until I find something better. And, like, it was a lot of shame that came with it, which she also felt is like all of this, like, oh my gosh, why can't I not function like a normal human being? And like, I get it. I there were a lot of points in this book where I was like, girl, I'm right there with you.
Oh, so many times. It's just like, do I have CPTSD?
Seriously, and I was like,
why is this sounding like me?
But I mean, there were so many things with just like her process that I was like, I get it so bad. And like there are still times where I'll be having a really bad anxiety day, and my mom will be like I'll call her on the phone and like just be talking about my day. Did you take your medication? And literally, it makes me want to go like right in the eye or like throat punch, because it's like, no, like don't do that. Like don't dwindle down this thing that I had to deal with. Did you take your medication? Or like, my antidepressants make me not hungry. And we'll be somewhere and I just don't eat a lot just because it's, for whatever reason, I'm just not hungry that day. And she'll be like, it's your medication. And I'm like, girl, I don't know. So like the struggles that come with getting any kind of diagnosis is very hard. So I get it.
Yeah, but I think it was also really helpful to her because she is such a, I'm going to dig into this and I'm going to throw all myself into it, that it's like, before she was just sort of like trying to manage all these things that she didn't have a name for, but it's like once you know what it is, then she was able to like read the book, she was able to do all the things and like really dive into it. Yeah, that's all I have to add on that one. Okay, question 3. At the end of the prologue, Foo writes, every villain's redemption arc begins with their origin story. What do you think she meant by that? Why do you think she viewed herself as a villain in need of redemption? I mean, reading this book, knowing how like volatile her emotional state was, at least like felt like for her, of just riding this roller coaster all the time of everything is triggering because of the PTSD. It's like, I can understand why she would take that as a negative flaw for herself of why aren't I managing myself better? Why can't I keep my emotions under control? Especially with everything from her parents of like all the horrible things they did to her and like expecting such perfection. It's like, it all makes sense why she would think she was the problem instead of what was done to her. Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, do I have more to that thought? I don't think so. It's like, I get why she saw herself that way, but I will add on to it. It's like, she was not the villain. It's like her parents were. It's like they did all this to her and she was having, you know, not ideal, but valid emotional responses to the trauma she has endured.
Yeah. But I mean, when you keep getting told, it's like self-fulfilling prophecy. When you keep getting told, like, you're the reason I want to myself, you're the reason, blah, 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 you're the reason we're getting divorced, you're the reason why I left, you're blah, 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 blah. or like you ruined my life. Hearing that from a parent, and like for so many people, like I mean we see it all the time with like kids in the shelter, even though dad or mom is this horrible person and they see like dad or mom abusing the other parent, they still love that parent, and like they're still tied up in that, even though they're seeing them do these horrible things and probably having horrible things said to them. They still love that because they hold them up to like on a pedestal. I mean, your parents are always going to be who you are supposed to go to and who's supposed to provide you things in like all of these different instances. So when you have that person doing the opposite, I mean, you really internalize all of those things. And I mean, you have like parental and like guard, I can't think of the word, but authority issues. You have authority issues because of the things that your parents or your guardians have done. I mean, there are some very clear issues that Stephanie has throughout the book because of that. So I mean, it's understandable why she's like internalized like I'm the bad person, and like when you have people who are supposed to be your friends being like, oh no, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Like, and I just don't understand how a lot of the people she was hanging out with weren't like, hey, you know, like she gets there eventually, but like we're like, hey, let's get you some help. I mean, I guess it's the culture we live in. I feel like now it's more socially acceptable to do those things, but Jesus, like there wasn't one person who was like, hey.
Yeah.
I don't know. And the school too. I don't know. Makes me angry because I'm like, dude, she could have gotten help for. And like my thing is like, how did nobody know? Because didn't they say there was one point where she thought somebody was breaking into her house, and they come and search the house, and they see how dirty it is, that she's the only one there. She's like basically painted it however she wanted and all of that, and it's just disgusting. Like she said that she literally just had a room that she threw dirty laundry. It's like, how did CPS not get called on this girl one time?
Yeah.
And the family.
Does not make sense.
One time. She was like getting thrown downstairs and stuff like that all the time, and like nobody ever called.
And the neighbor heard it. The neighbor came over and confronted the mom, and still nothing. It's just like, what is happening out in California?
I don't know. I kind of got off topic there, but like.
But I mean, how many times have we called CPS about stuff here and nothing happens? So maybe they were getting called and they weren't doing anything.
True.
You just never know. Because it is all from like her perspective. She doesn't know obviously what every single person in the story was doing. But yeah, there definitely should have been intervention earlier.
Yeah. Well, even if they weren't, if they, let's say, did not know. Like she was getting brutally beaten by her mom and everything, and like
which how
harassed.
The school didn't see all the bruises and everything.
No, it's crazy. And but her attitude changed because she started acting super mean. She like changed the way she dressed. How did she ever say she got caught for shoplifting or anything like that?
I don't think so.
I don't like she was shoplifting.
She was stealing all the time, but I don't think she got caught.
Like, which is crazy. Like you're gonna tell, like there were so many, like this could have gone. We might not have this book if some things would have happened differently, and she would have gotten like put into the system. Which is like there are so many kids who like they get on that path and they don't have somebody who helps them get off that path. And like she was able to like go to college, and like we'll get it. There's another. I think question 5 gets into the resilience thing and stuff like that. But like there was just so many things. It's like this could have gone so bad and so much differently, and your life could have been so much differently different. I don't know, there's so many things that like I as a person would have been like, that kid needs help. Like if she's goes from like very prim, proper, and polite to like I'm running into Hot Topic and getting which there's nothing wrong with dressing that way, but when you go from like this and it's a drastic like complete mood swing, like obviously you know. it doesn't take like a rocket scientist to be like, maybe I need to check into this. But it seems like
But we do also work in this field. We are trained to spot those signs.
Yeah, but teachers are also, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, in defense of teachers,
there's a lot going on, and
there
I do
is
see that.
a lot going on. You're responsible for a lot of kids. You constantly got the administration, parents breathing down your neck, and it's like the amount of what you learn about abuse is your mandated reporter training. It's like the rest of the time you're in school, it's like learning about teaching and your content.
Yeah.
So it's like they may not know all the signs because it's like you're learning a very quick basic thing like you would in a professional development course where it's like, here's how you use an EpiPen. It's like, here's how you spot abuse.
Yeah.
Remember that on top of your entire other complicated job.
And I do understand that, but like there's just so many things where it's like the dad driving the way he did.
Yeah.
How did nobody be like, call the cops, or how did he not get pulled over, or like, I don't know. There's just so many things where I was like, dude, what is going on?
I understand being disappointed in the teachers though, because it's like I see both sides of it. It's like it's something they don't know, but it's like also you're spending so much time with these children.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you not seeing it?
And her grades went from like impeccable. Like there are so many signs. Like it's just, I don't know. I feel like there is so many different ways that so many people failed her, and like the fact that she is like who she is and where she is now is like very. It is amazing, and like I kind of get into that in question 5 when we get to that, so I'll just leave that.
Okay. Well, let's move on to question 4 then. Foo says that she gravitated towards journalism because it gave her a chance to take feelings and injustices and even tragedies and figure out a way to shape them all into something purposeful. Do you have a passion that gives you a similar sense of purpose?
I mean, I feel like the thing we have to be.
Yeah.
In
it's like this job.
This job.
It's like doing all this.
Among other things, but I feel like the easy answer is this job. I mean, we talk about so much and we have to keep up with so much, and I mean, there's things that we wish we could probably talk about but can't because of restrictions, which can make this very hard job very hard sometimes. But
I mean, this job, I love it. It drives me insane, but like knowing that I help people in some capacity makes me keep coming back each day. It's like if there were no tangible signs of we are helping anyone, nothing is happening, it's like I'd be out of here so fast. Nobody wants unending trauma for nothing.
Yeah.
They're also fun passions too, but as far as a sense of purpose, not sure Taylor Swift gives me a purpose. Besides just annoying the general populace. Alright, any more on that one, Zoe? Alright. Question 5. Foo writes that in American culture, resilience or emotional toughness is synonymous with success. Case studies of resilient individuals often focus on those who overcome adversity and became doctors, teachers, therapists, motivational speakers, sparkly members of society. Is success the only way to measure resilience? In what way did Foo's professional ambition help her, and in what ways did it hurt her? What does emotional toughness mean to you, and how do... We lost where I was on the page. And do you know people in your own life whom you consider resilient? You kept referring back to question 5, so I will let you go ahead.
I wrote that she challenges the idea that resilience is only measured by traditional success. So things like becoming a doctor, a teacher, motivational speaker, and like while those things are super admirable, resilience is much broader. It's about adapting, healing, and to continuing forward despite hardship, even if that doesn't result in a prestigious career. So some of the most resilient people may not ever be publicly recognized. but their ability to survive, grow, and find joy is just as meaningful as somebody who might have been homeless becoming a world-renowned doctor.
Yeah.
And I said that her professional ambition was a lifeline and a burden for her, because I mean there are so many times in the book where you see like she's only getting like an hour of sleep a night, even though she is being incredibly successful. So that drive really helped her channel her pain into purpose, and it really helped her shape injustices into stories that mattered, and it gave her this sense of control that she really never had in her life, but it really masked her trauma because she always, like I said, was pushing herself relentlessly, getting an hour of sleep. She believed that her success would heal her, when in reality it probably set her back a lot. And like it did help her in her healing process, because she was able to take, I can't remember how much time it was, she saved up enough money to be able to pay like a few months rent, and she was saying like, I'm very fortunate to have that opportunity to be able to do that. But at the same time, it really did not help with her anxiety and her panic attacks, and it really forced her to confront the fact that she'd been alone really couldn't erase what she had gone through.
Yeah.
And I said, to me, emotional toughness isn't about suppressing pain. It's about acknowledging it, working through it, and continuing to show up for yourself and others. It's the ability to endure, but it also to be vulnerable and seek help when needed. What I kept going back to with the other questions, I mean, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Let me read over that last part again.
Okay.
I don't think success is a way to like measure, because like I think so many people think like, oh, you have a job, or like pays you a ton of money and they're going through and like you're absolutely happy with it, great if that makes you happy. But there are so many people who like put themselves in jobs like you said that like they absolutely hate, but they're making tons of money. So I think being resilient and having success is what you define it as. So yeah, she eventually gets to where she feels good about herself and successful. So
and that's all any of us can ever hope for.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have anyone whom you consider resilient in your own life?
I mean, there are a ton of people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Sophia, everybody, Sophia!
Our queen of resiliency.
I mean, dude, you are though.
Yeah.
I mean, with all of the things that you've been through.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. As are y'all.
What a great crew we've got here. So resilient.
Just a bunch of resilient ladies.
But I mean, other than just the people in this room, I think the majority, all of our staff have been through things that like they are volunteers and everything. They've been through something that has brought them here. There are people that we work with or around that we could name. I mean, there are so many people. I think especially if you're working in like a non-profit field, you have to be some sort of resilient because you are taking in vicarious trauma daily.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Excellent answer, Zoe. I agree with most of your stuff for the earlier questions. To talk a little more. As far as like someone in my life who I consider resilient, I thought when I first read through this about my mom, because like Stephanie, she had a crazy childhood. My grandparents, bonkers. My father, bonkers. And it's like, me and my mom talk about all the time. It's like the fact that either of us ended up as well-adjusted as we are and not in a ditch somewhere a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm just very impressed with how well she has handled all the trauma that she has endured and everything that to like be such a strong part of my life. Yay, mommy. She's not gonna watch this, but it's fine.
She's not gonna watch this.
Alright, any more on that question?
Nah.
Alright, question 6. In chapter 8, Foo talks about something called the dread. Have you ever experienced something similar to her dread? How have you dealt with difficult feelings in your own life? Have you seen the new Marvel movie, the Thunderbolts?
Thunderbirds.
Bolts.
Thunderbolts.
Yes.
I haven't, but I do
Mhm.
see little clippets of it
Mhm.
from TikTok every now and then because I'm just like, oh, okay, like I had to sit down and watch it because like
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian Stan.
It's a very good movie
Yeah.
and very timely for us reading this
Yeah.
book. It's just like, oh, well, look at that. But it's like Bob's character in that just reminds me of Stephanie's dread. His,
yeah,
what does he call it? The void?
yeah.
It's like, it's right there.
I personally, just because of my depression and everything, and as like a small child not knowing what that was, or what that feeling was, is like this constant, because like I related to Stephanie in so many different ways, because I was like that, and Robbie, like because I would tell him like, oh yeah, I would like, especially because we met while I was still in school, and like I would be running off of like an hour of sleep and able to function and run around and like doing what she's doing, because I was working 2 jobs, I was doing an internship and going to school for full time. Don't know how I did that, because now I look back and I'm like, what were you doing? But she was doing those things. Like she was working like 120-hour work weeks or whatever, and like doing her whole thing. But I was constantly running on fumes. I felt like if I didn't get something perfect, like or I didn't get a good grade, it was going to be awful. If I got a like C on something, I would like have a total nervous breakdown. Or like if I had to go and like meet people, like I was always like trying to watch what I said, because like I felt like I was going to like lose it, and like if I said something wrong, and just like the feeling of it building up constantly. Like I can't remember, because she said there was like at some point like she was just going and crying every day somewhere. Little fetus Zoe would get on the bus every day before, and like I would just cry, and I was like, I don't know why I'm crying on my way to school, but like it kind of worked, because like I had that like the edgy alternative, so I would so it worked. It was like, these are on purpose. It's fine. My makeup looks messy on purpose. Yeah, everyone, your this makeup under my eyes looks so big, smudged. I cry every morning on the bus because it's so overwhelmed. But no, I get the dread part. And until I got medicated, because like I went and took that test that we talked about earlier, that gave me severe test anxiety. Getting on my antidepressants and my anti-anxiety med has helped so much. I got built up to a point where like my dread was horrible. I was in a really, really bad spot, and like medication isn't for everybody. But for me, taking my medication has definitely like helped so much. The therapies helped so much, but therapy was just like an extra step that I didn't know if I was gonna like. I've told you, we've talked about this in other things too, like I did not know if I was gonna like therapy or not. I was really dreading it, and then I like found this therapist that I absolutely adore, and she's great. But yeah, I really, that's how I deal with my dread and my difficult feelings in my own life.
I don't think I had, it's like, looking back, I see things where it's like, oh, that's probably what that was. I just didn't have like a name for it at the time. And it's just like, oh, that's what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yes, it was there. I was just busy being an overachiever and didn't really acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I don't have time to freak out about this. I have to keep going. I have to hold it together. I have to do this. I have 12,000 assignments coming in. It's like you were talking about, it's like a couple of overachievers over here.
Mm-hmm.
Overachiever perfectionists. It's like, there's no time to break down. It's like, I
would be doing assignments and like there would be like just tears falling and like it would be I had to stop writing in pen because there were some assignments where like it was in pen and I'd be like, oh okay, I'm just willing to lose the 5 points because I know the rest of it's gonna be fine, because for whatever reason we had a English teacher who was like, you have to write your essays in pen, like it was like okay, I'm just gonna lose 5 points and write it in pencil because it's gonna smear if I write it in pen and I'm crying.
It's like, I was a person where I cried all the time, happy, sad, mad, all of it. It's like, if I get mildly overstimulated, it's like I'm crying.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that might be what was going on. And I still, like, I just didn't know it. I just thought I was just, like, a very sensitive person who, like, cries a lot.
Well, I got to the point where, it, like, growing up, like, it was only when I was really, really mad. And then I got into college and got around people who were praising me for like nothing, and like I came from a place where like I got praise for like I didn't get praise at all. And I would be like, I'd go and it'd be like, oh, you did your makeup really pretty today, or like like we're I was in a I hate saying this, but like it's true. I was in a sorority in college.
Oh my goodness!
And like I got like the philanthropist award my first semester because like I was going out and I was like doing all of these things and like they gave me an award for it and it was like a really big deal because freshmen did not get that. It was usually the seniors, and they gave me that and I cried, and like they jokingly like would say like, don't like, if you say something nice to Zoe or if you do, like praise Zoe, she's gonna cry, so get ready for it. Because like I just wasn't used to it, and it eventually they were like, oh okay, this is just like she appreciates it, and like the people who were in like my very close circle knew why I was like that, and it's very much died down. I'm more willing to like cry now. But I don't know, I feel like the big nervous breakdowns, I had one the other day with you over something somebody said because it made me so angry and it hurt my feelings so bad. But I don't know, it's easier to cry now and not just be like, I'm so stressed out and so angry and have my anxieties up so bad, where I'm just crying over assignments.
Weirdly though, for me, it's like the last few years, I think because of the stress of this job, it's like when winter hits, I get the seasonal sads.
Yeah.
And I just go like numb and I don't cry as much.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's a weird inverse in the emotional roller coaster here. So it's like, oh, the seasonal depression's here because I'm not crying anymore.
It's here. I get that.
And that's why my sister says I need therapy. That's how I should deal with my difficult feelings in my life, and I'm just not doing it.
Oh gosh. Do you take vitamin D more during the wintertime?
No.
My first therapist that I went to, that was not, she was like, maybe you just need to go outside more. And I was like, I live in my office and it doesn't have a window. Like, I'm literally in a box in my office. I kind of hate it. I love my office, but I kind of hate how I can't just like open and see the outside. So like my vitamin D supplements, and like it's bad because my therapist was like, and I go outside all the time, but I'm just like, what? But she was like, we're getting you on the medical grade vitamin D. But you should take vitamin D because it does help. I thought it was kind of mean with my first therapist, and my doctor was like, no, yeah, it's gonna help your, because I can't remember. I was like, are they just like severely low? And she was like, no, they're in normal range. You drink orange juice and you do blah 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 and you go outside. But she was like, it just helps but she has me on medical grade vitamin D, so it's but it does help.
I mean, I know I feel better when I the weather's nice enough for me to go outside and go on walks and go get runs in. So I believe in the power of the vitamin D in the sun.
Yeah. I also, I've seen where people, because I think I'm affected by how my morning starts, and I see a lot of people who deal with depression and stuff like that. I cannot, I think it's not called a sunrise alarm, but it's basically instead of being your alarm going bah, 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 when you need to get up, it slowly starts playing the music and gets louder, and then the light on it is a sunrise.
Yes.
And so you wake up naturally with the sunrise. And I think Morbid talked about it, and I was like, So I started looking into it more, and the studies that they show with those, and how you wake up, especially during the winter time, because there's less sunlight, you end up waking up more refreshed and feeling better, and your day starts, because you're not just being woken up out of REM sleep too, so that affects how you're going to do the rest of the day and all of that. So I don't know, I need to go and look again, and then I'll send you a link, because apparently they do work. I want to get one, I just haven't sat down and ordered it yet.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll have to do that. My next thing to avoid going to therapy. It's I can fix this myself. It'll be fine.
Ask Zoe for her tricks. I'll share my Prozac. I'm kidding. We might have to. Did I tell you we might have to get one of my cats on Prozac, because she's going. Yeah, she's going blind, so she's kind of sad.
Baby. Which one is it?
It's Luna. She's my oldest one, but she's always had cataracts because she wasn't fed properly. She was a stray, itty bitty. Should not have been as itty bitty as she was, and she's still itty bitty. She's 6 pounds. She's an itty bitty baby, but as she's getting older, the cataracts are starting to get worse now, and so she's just I can't see. When I close my eyes, I can't see. But we're gonna have to get her on kitty Prozac, so she's got a vet appointment on Tuesday to get her on kitty Prozac.
Fun.
I don't know how, but it's apparently a thing with cats as they start. Well, all animals, but I was no, you and mommy can't share the medication. Jeez. I swear I might spiral out if our dosage is the same. I might spiral out a little bit, but it's fine.
I mean, hopefully it'd be less, given that she's a cat. It's she's smaller than you.
She is, but I don't know. My dosage is pretty low on my Prozac because I take so much other stuff. Because I was I really don't during winter time it usually does get up though. So I don't know.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Do you share the same dose as a cat?
Just tune in next month.
We'll find out. Breaking news. Alright, what question were we on?
7.
Okay.
We gotta answer 7.
Okay, gotcha. After being diagnosed with CPTSD, Foo tries a lot of different therapies: EMDR, mushrooms, restorative yoga, mindful meditation, and more. Were these treatments effective? Have you ever tried any of these things? What was your experience?
She found EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, helpful in processing her traumatic memories, but it wasn't a cure-all.
Yeah.
She also experimented with microdosing and megadosing with psychedelics and the mushrooms, which she said provided temporary relief, but didn't offer lasting healing. She did yoga and meditation, which helped her regulate her emotions, but she struggled with the consistency of it. And she ultimately discovered that healing was about management, not a complete cure, and she learned to carry her trauma in a way that felt lighter.
Yes.
I do yoga. I hurt my back recently, so I haven't been able to do it, and I can definitely tell a difference in my mental health not being able to do it. I really enjoy doing yoga. And then meditation I just can't get into. I see how some people like it. There are, because it's we lay on the floor.
Yeah.
We just lay on the floor. I think that is a form of meditation. But like having the music and going and like where like the really trendy girls on YouTube are like, let me lead you in this mindful meditation.
Yeah.
They like tippy tap on the microphones and shit. Like I can't do it. I'm like no. So, but like laying on the floor like me too. I like that. You could call it meditation. But
it's like I've got my coping things, but it's like meditation in the traditional sense of it's like you're just gonna sit here and let your mind wander. It's like, or you're gonna sit there and have no thoughts. It's like my brain never
my
has
brain
no
doesn't
thoughts.
work like that.
My brain never shuts up.
There is one, I can't remember who it was. They did like a guided meditation and it told you to like think about the things and stuff like that and then like turn it off. I think I kind of do, like on the really bad days here, I wouldn't call it meditation. I think it's just like unplugging. Like I give myself until like I get to the post office in Centerville because it's still enough time away from my house, but I drive from work to Centerville. That's about 25 minutes. I give myself 25 minutes to think about a really rough work day and to do my thing. That one day though, it was like over. I thought about it too much and could not turn it off because it made me so mad. So I called you because I was like, I can't talk about it. But I give myself until that point, so I give and like think about like happy things and like what good happened in the day and stuff like that. That doesn't work sometimes. It's not a fix-all, which she didn't think it was a fix-all. But if like you hurt yourself or something's going on, it's really hard. Or if you've got anxiety, it's not always easy to turn it off. With the other stuff, I have not tried EMDR. I've seen videos of it and it kind of looks scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Describing it sounds scary. I'm just like, no, thank you.
Yeah. And now I've never tried mushrooms.
And now we're gonna talk about our experience with drugs.
But like, there are studies for like vets and stuff like that and how psychedelics work, and like that is so cool to me. Like that they are able to like take that and like do that. But
I've not partaken yourself.
No,
I've not taken any, so.
No, I haven't either. I can see, like, if she thought, like, it helps, like, that's great. I mean, that's like people with marijuana and CBD and stuff like that. It has so many different things that it can do, and, like, that's great if it works for you, but it doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
And same with medications. Like, I got very lucky with my antidepressant. I am on the same antidepressant I've been on the entire time, and it works. The one mess up I had, though, with my antidepressant, my original doctor that I had, you know about this because I told you about that. At first, when I started, I'm on Prozac. I love my Prozac. I started with capsules instead of tablets, and for whatever reason, my body processes the capsules, but it does not process the tablets in a way that like makes it feel like the medication's working. And she kept prescribing me tablets, and I was like, this medication's not working. Like, I really think the capsules worked, and like this new doctor, she's just like, oh yeah, I'll make sure that you get your capsules. And like, I'm great. But with my anti-anxiety medication, I had to go through a couple of them before I found one that worked for me. I literally had one that was like making my eyes mess up insanely. So it just, you gotta find what works for you.
Yeah, I haven't tried a lot of the things that Stephanie's tried, but it's like, I have my coping skills that I do. It's like, I work out, I go for a walk or for a run, and it's just like, it's my time to turn my brain off. Because meditation, sitting there in silence doesn't work because my brain won't shut up. But if it's just like, I'm out on a run, my body's moving, I've got music going, it's like, I can focus on all those other things and not think. So it's like, that's my meditation. Or, I don't remember if I told you this or not. Last month before, my mom and I went down to the food bank in Little Rock, and we did a volunteer session there, and it's like, that was also very, it's like, I left that and I was like, this is what meditation must feel like for normal people, because it's like just enough work to keep my brain busy but not so much to be like strenuous and arduous and annoying.
I think you would like, because it's closer, the Russ Bus does, like, doing those laundry packets, because you just, like, you're doing the same movement over and over and over again, and you're helping somebody. That was really easy. They do something else there, too. But, like, the laundry packs for them was super easy, so if you need something else that's not, like...
It's like, let me go do my good deed / secret meditation.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is for other people, but also to tell my brain to be quiet.
River Valley Food for Kids does something during the summertime that is like that. I think it's just helping them get their stuff together. I don't know. United Way is supposed to post their thing, and I don't know if they have yet. So that website. I was talking to somebody about that today, and it was like, we need that for volunteers and stuff. And I just can't remember if it ever got posted. I need to look after we get off.
When was it supposed to go up?
Like a week after.
Okay.
So it should be. I just don't remember ever hearing anything about it.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him posting about it. But, you know, the world's falling apart around us, so everyone's been a little preoccupied.
Yeah.
All right, any more on that question?
I don't think so.
All right. Question 8. Foo writes that after reading about CPTSD and how it affects the brain, she began losing faith in her own mind. She says, every time I tried to touch a memory, doubts and questions multiplied around it, preventing me from being able to see my own past. In order to combat this, she takes a trip to her hometown of San Jose to fact-check her abuse. What did she learn on this trip? How do you think trauma impacts memory? How does she differentiate between personal and communal trauma? Well, we know that trauma messes up your memory.
Yeah, big time.
It's like we have talked about many times in these lives how your brain encodes traumatic events differently. So it's more difficult to recall those memories. It's stored in maybe a different part of your brain. It may be triggered by something that you wouldn't think of. Like she was talking about the analogy of like the car accident, but it's like you get triggered by Krispy Kreme because there was a Krispy Kreme sign nearby or something like that. It's like different things can pull it up that you wouldn't necessarily associate with a car crash or with that whatever traumatic event, because your brain's storing in a different place because it's so active in the fight or flight chemicals.
Or, I mean, there's even cases where you just completely block it out.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, you're just like, oh, I don't even remember that. I mean, we've read a few books that are like that.
Yeah.
Well, what was the one about the girl on the college campus? Didn't she completely block out the whole experience? And
she was unconscious for it.
Okay, she was but she couldn't remember, like, anything that led up to that, right? I mean, she was...
But I don't know if that was her blocking it out or if it was, she was
drugged.
Yeah.
Was she drugged or drunk?
Drunk.
Okay.
I mean, there might have been drugs involved, but...
I can't remember. With her. But, I mean, there was another one then. Because there was one where she just like, oh yeah, I can't even remember what happened that we've read. And I can't... But it doesn't even have to be like...
Yeah. I mean, she talks about how she was dissociating but didn't realize she was dissociating. And it's like that would also impact if you are dissociating while something is happening, because so many times this has happened, then it's going to impact the way that you remember it, because it's like you're not using these parts of your brain, so it's going to go to a different place. I don't know if that made sense, but... It
did.
Okay.
It did. Well, I mean... Personally, like, there are a bunch of, like, little spots where I'm like, yeah, I have no idea. I don't even remember, because of crap that's going on in my life, and I'm like, I have no, like, I see pictures, and I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
That's me, but I don't know who that is. But my sister, she's the same way, but hers happens when she gets hurt. She got, when she was, like, 16, she got in like a horrible car accident on Dardanelle, like bridge in Dardanelle, and like Miss Girl almost died. But like she's like, oh no, I don't remember like almost dying, and like she was awake and conscious for like and like talking to people, and then like 7 days after she like woke up and was like, why am I in a hospital bed? Had like her memory just like blocked out the past 7 days that she'd had. And then she was cleaning her car one day and fell out the back back and broke her leg. Oh god, she called my mom. She's like, Mom, I just broke my leg. It's so calm.
Mhm.
My mom's like, you're kidding. No, you're not. And she's like, no, I can't get up. The dogs are licking me. Come get me. So she's just, and my mom had to drag her like 20 minutes to get to my sister's. And Shannon's just sitting there with the dog. Her leg is like this in the car. And she's like, oh my god. And Shannon was like, I don't even remember you taking, like, me falling out of the car. Or, like,
Why wouldn't she call 911?
I don't know.
It's like, well, wait for my mother, you know, traditionally reliable.
But she was like, I don't even remember anything until I got home from the hospital with my cast on. And I was like, oh, this happened. Okay. I was like, what is wrong? But yeah, if she gets hurt, she's fine. She's fine. Her brain just blocks it.
I mean, whatever you need to do to survive, I guess.
Yeah. I wish I was. I am that way, but it's like with things that like shouldn't be. Oh gosh. But yeah, so I broke my leg. Come get me.
Oh, it's puzzle time.
Puzzle time.
Been yapping for an hour.
But anyway, with personal and communal trauma, I mean, she realized that all of her trauma was just from her perspective, and we've talked about that several times through this entire life. Oh gosh, let me read through, because I wrote a freaking dissertation.
It's okay. Feel free to yap. Like I said, working on 10% brain here. So.
She was able to realize that her trauma was unique to herself. That everybody was going to like experience trauma in San Jose, and San Jose is not a horrible place. But she was also able to see that a bunch of the like migrant and immigrant community in her community were also experiencing that because of like the high pressures of living the American dream.
Yes.
So that she was able to see that there is such a thing as communal trauma, and that there are pressures that certain populations face because of what's going on.
Yes. All right. I think that covers that one.
Yep.
Question 9. In chapter 27, Foo writes the author C. Pam.
I said Zong.
Okay. Who wrote, "Obfuscation is my inheritance." What do you think she meant by this, and how does this quote relate to Foo's own story? What is generational trauma, and how does it inform the author's understanding of herself? Ooh, generational trauma. I mean, we have discussed many, many times how abuse can be in generational cycles, and it just repeats itself over and over because that's the environment you grew up in, so that's all you know. But it's like, it was very interesting going through this book, learning on a like genetic level, like how the abuse here like changed the DNA to like alter these people's lives. It's like, that was fascinating. It's like, oh, it made me very curious, like, what's happening to my DNA? I'm gonna pass down to other people. How am I gonna mess up future generations?
I love you. Jeez.
Like, what is working here doing to me genetically?
Oh my gosh. Making you a super soldier. Like Steve.
Oh yeah. Gonna go join the Thunderbolts. Thunderbirds, whoever they are.
Thunderbirds is the Thunderbolts. Sorry, not the Thunderbirds. I wrote that the quote speaks to the idea that secrecy, distortion, and the inability to fully grasp your history can be passed down through generations.
Mhm.
And like we see that with the Native American, like Native
Mhm.
peoples, like Native Americans especially, because here in the U.S., I mean, you
Mhm.
totally eradicated some groups and languages, and just you're fine with that. They have no way of getting that back, and it's not just here in the U.S. It's like in Ireland and in Scotland and like all of these different places where like you've eradicated languages and like ways of being, with African Americans who like their ancestors came over through slavery. I mean, total eradication of who they were and what they were connected to. So
were you in other book club when we read, what was it, Homegoing?
No,
It was really good. You would like that one.
but I'm gonna have to look that one up, because I mean you are just set in this place, and then I think there's another level of that too, because like they had the very like wonderful opportunity to get to go home, but there are so many people who do who are immigrants who go to a different country and they're never able to go back, and they're completely cut off for whatever reason. Like they either can't because of safety, or they do not have the funds, or like maybe they came here and they're working towards citizenship, and if they go back they risk that. I mean, there are so many different things that like happen with that, and you have to try and like fit into that country, and you have to lose yourself and give up things. And I mean, there are so many levels to that saying. I mean, and like so many things that add to that, whether it's through like that loss of self when you have to say goodbye to your culture, or through things like gentrification and modernization and like globalism and all of this. There are so many different levels to like where we are constantly seeing like cultures and peoples die every day, with the push of like, this is the like ideal dream, and you need this to be successful, and you need this to be any sort of great, and anyway, when in regards to Stephanie, I think she really grappled with those hidden wounds of generational trauma, and the idea that pain is something that is inherited, even if you're not fully aware of that, and what that comes with. And it can be something that's so hard to break cycles with when it comes to generational trauma. I mean, usually, I mean, we see it here all the time with clients, it's domestic violence is usually something that is generational. It's something that like people get used to, and if you don't have resources, because I mean, domestic violence shelters and like getting help is a fairly new thing in the grand scheme of things. Domestic violence shelters have not been around that long, which is crazy.
First ones opened in the 70s?
Late 70s. Very late 70s, which is crazy to think about, because it's like, what are you doing?
And without stepping too far over a political line, hopefully, if I keep my mouth in check, go call your senators, whatever party they're in, and tell them to fund federal programs for victim services, because it's like, we have only existed since the 70s, and it's like, there is the very real possibility a lot of places are going to close in a matter of months, because there is not funding available, and that is going to affect victims. It's like, we know all the statistics. It's like 1 in 4 women will be abused. It's like, that is a lot of people that are not going to get help because the federal government doesn't think it's necessary. So go call them and tell them it is. I don't think I got myself in trouble there.
I don't think you did.
Okay.
I mean, she is right.
Yeah.
I mean, we have.
I'm not telling you to vote for anyone. I'm
No.
telling you to go yell at the people you already voted for.
To go and support like the funding of shelters. I mean, the Arkansas Center. Oh gosh, ICASA, whatever ICASA stands for. Arkansas Center Against Sexual Assault. They have an estimation out right now that says 86 out of the 132 services that benefit from their funding might close in the next few months without funding, which is crazy. 86 out of 132. I don't know that percentage. But it's,
I mean, it'd be, what, over half?
yeah, it's over half, but
Mhm.
like just the idea of that,
Mhm.
and a lot of those places, I mean, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere and that
Mhm.
sort of thing, and like there are a lot of shelters that are out in the middle of nowhere, and like they don't have these big giant funders, so
Mhm.
please do that.
If you enjoy our content, we still have to be employed to make it.
Or you can send us money in our PayPal.
Yeah.
Plug our PayPal. It's
At
River Valley Shelter. So send us money. But anyway, I mean, with that, we got with all of that in mind. I mean, these are things that a lot of our clients deal with, and breaking that chain of generational trauma can be extremely hard because it's something that like is, I mean, fairly new to have these resources.
Yeah.
And if you don't fund them, you're gonna go right back to those where people are having to just stay in where they are. You're gonna see death rates go up. You're gonna see like the amount and like Mandy wrote in the thing we're doing, like without victim services like us, I mean, the responsibility goes to hospitals and police and sadly coroners. So it's very important to have these services and know that they're out there.
Yeah.
And it's harder to be able to break out of generational trauma without them there.
All right, any more on that question, or is that a solid segue into the next one?
I think that's a solid segue into the next one.
All right. When Stephanie and Joey get married, they plan a community-based wedding. What did this look like, and why was it important to her? That wedding made me cry. It's like reading about all the people and their letters that they wrote to all of them. It's just like, that is so beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, as somebody who had a traditional wedding,
where were all our letters, Zoe?
I know, I'm so sorry. There were so many people who helped with my wedding, and there were so many things that like my wedding was absolutely amazing. I had the perfect wedding day. The only thing that was not perfect was I didn't get more pictures with my grandmother. That's the only thing I regret about my wedding day. Sorry. That's the only thing I regret about my wedding day. But like, seeing something like this is so amazing, especially like for the idea of this being a thing. I wish this like was more advertised, because I think that there are so many people, whether it's in a situation like this where you're coming from an abusive place, or a person who came out of the closet and their family doesn't support them. Like, you really, at the end of the day, make your own family and you make your own support system. Like, saying that blood is thicker than water is absolute bullshit, especially, I mean, in the place we are now with like things like our smartphones and social media. I mean, you make your community what you want to make your community. You make your family who you want to make your family. I have people in my life who are very much not blood related, but they are family. Their wedding was beautiful, and I really liked it. Their wedding.
I might steal the letter idea.
Well, we can't confirm or deny.
At some point. Once I find some poor schmuck to deal with all this all the time.
Schmuck. Stop.
Alright, next question. What did you make of Foo's sessions with Dr. Ham? What did she learn from working with him? What was distinctive about Dr. Ham's method, and why was it so effective for her? I loved Dr. Ham. It's like, that was such a turning point for her. And it's like, his whole approach was so different than anything else that she had done, because it's like, a lot of her stuff that she was doing before was, it's like, here's how you can cope with these symptoms of all of it, like the yoga, like the mushrooms, like the EMDR, like the process your old trauma. But it's like, his approach was really interesting once it turned into more of, I
Give me some toner. They're gonna pick it up tomorrow and then we get ours on Monday.
Okay.
She's, is there a Katie here? And I was like, can't confirm or deny.
Mhm.
She's like, well, something about toner. I was like, Carrie. You're talking about Carrie, not Katie.
Ay, ay, ay.
Dang. Why Monday?
She had to order it.
Oh.
Okay.
I was like, if they just delivered it to the wrong people, why can't they just go get it? Like, I'll drive over there. Give me my toner.
What was I talking about?
Dr. Ham.
Yes. It's like a lot of what she was doing before was more like, how do we deal with these symptoms of the PTSD? But it's like, his approach of looking at why all these symptoms are happening is because of like relationships and like healing those relationships and learning to manage and handle your relationships and heal hurts there. It's like, that was like a light switch flipped in my own brain. It's just like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's like it was for Stephanie too, but it's just like, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, I mean, she really got to figure out there that it's not about erasing it, but carrying it differently. I mean, having the ability to reframe things in a healthy way, I think is so hard for so many people. I mean, even if not in terms of trauma, just being able to like reframe anything in a positive light is so hard, especially with everything going on like right now. It's really hard to be like, oh, okay, this is okay, it's gonna be okay. So like just having the tools to be able to do that, especially in her case, I think is great.
And the like conflict resolution of it all and like handling difficult conversations and like relationship repair is just like, oh.
Yeah. And her being able to like really figure out that she can have compassion for herself, because she had so many issues with herself, and like understandable with where she came from. Yeah, and I think the tools that he used are really like universal, not just for Stephanie.
Yeah, I want to know if, because his whole thing was he was going to do the therapy with her for free if she would like publish the stuff. So I'm just like, is this book the publishing of the stuff, or like will we get to hear or see all that therapy at some point? Because it's like, I'd be very curious to hear like the entire sessions. It's like, give me that free therapy, because it's not, like just reading the few chapters here worked for my brain. All right, any more on that question, Zoe?
No.
When the COVID-19 pandemic hits, Foo finds that she is calm and productive while everyone around her is panicking. How does she account for this? Why is she able to see her CPTSD as an asset during this moment of global crisis?
I mean, trauma really kind of prepares you to be hyper vigilant and like deal with crisis situations and stuff like that. Like your brain's kind of wired to be like its own kind of disaster movie artist.
You're in fight and flight all the time, so it's like perfect.
Yeah.
Now this environment is matching my emotional state.
So I mean, she was able to go through it, and like she did the damn thing. I mean, she recognized like, I think being able to like see her, that like aha moment of my PTSD is a strength was one of the cooler parts of this book, because I mean, I don't know a lot of people who'd be like, this my superpower is my this thing that like crippled me for years and years and years when it came to like being social and like accepting myself and like yada yada.
Yeah, I like that part. I just really loved this book. It was so good. Okay, I think that basically answers that. Okay. At the end of the book, Foo writes, healing is never final. It is never perfection. But along with the losses are the triumphs. Do you agree? Has her story changed your understanding of what healing means and what it looks like? I don't know that it necessarily like changed my understanding of what healing means, but I think it was eye-opening because it's like, yeah, it's never gonna go away, but you learn how to handle it.
Yeah.
And it's like you can still have joy and love and all these things, even if you're not perfect, even if it's not, oh, I'm entirely healed, I'm a normal person now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's still able to have this beautiful, fulfilling life and like her successful career, all these things. But it's like the CPTSD is still there, but you can learn to manage these things.
Yeah.
And your trauma doesn't have to define you.
Mm-hmm. And I think before I add this part,
Yes.
C on Joey or nay on Joey? Did you like Joey?
I like Joey.
Okay.
I was nervous at
Yeah,
first.
I was nervous
when
at
we
first,
first
too.
met him, mostly because of the like military background. It's just like, oh, is he gonna be really
he's
messed
also
up?
gonna have a C.
It's like, oh no, is this just gonna like two
Yeah.
people messing up
But-
together? But it's like, no, I liked him.
Yeah, he was great, and like
Mhm.
him being like, oh, I can handle that. It's
Yeah.
fine. Because he's like, there's something about you. I feel like we're
Mhm.
not really fully getting to know each other, and then
Mhm.
him being like, there has to be something. Just tell me, and him being like, oh, it's fine, and just like
Which him
accepting.
being so well adjusted, given
Yeah.
his background, is surprising. But
Yeah.
it's like,
Good for
you,
Joey.
girl.
Good
Good
for
for
Joey.
Joey.
But I think having a partner and like the
Mhm.
people around you that are willing to accept you when you might be at a
Mhm.
low is awesome. And like
Mhm.
her having, I don't know, like she was working on herself before Joey,
Yeah.
very much. But I
Mhm.
think having this like one person who like you are
Who's
intimate with
In
And-
your corner,
yes.
no matter what.
is something that really helped her.
Mhm.
And because there are so many people who like they just need somebody there. It is
Yeah.
so much harder. I'm not saying you can't do it on your own. There are plenty of people who do, but it helps when you have cheerleaders. And Joey was definitely
Especially
seemed like
with
a
like all the
cheerleader.
abandonment in her life, it's like she needed somebody
Mhm.
on her team.
Yeah, it could have gone so much,
Mhm.
so much worse, so much worse with
Yeah.
Joey. But no, she did great. I'm very happy for the gap year.
Yes. Was there any
Does she ever say? I can't remember. She reconnects with Dad at some point. She goes to lunch with Dad.
But it's like to cut him off.
Yeah, and he just talks about himself the entire time.
Yeah.
But like,
And then that was the last time they talked.
yeah, and then like nothing with Mom.
Yeah.
I just wonder with everything that she's done, like what the
Mhm.
mom's reaction is.
Who knows?
Like cause like I'm just like this.
Mhm.
She was crazy.
Mhm.
I just want to know, and like, I'm sure.
Especially with like
there's
the book coming out and like how successful the book has been.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how are her crazy narcissistic parents handling all that?
Yeah.
Have they been like harassing her afterwards? I mean, I haven't heard anything, but
Yeah, I would just be interested because like there's no way. Like her
Mhm.
mom especially.
yeah.
Like her dad, I don't know because he kind of seems like a weenie. I don't know. After my daughter would come at me with an axe, I'd probably be like, nah.
I mean, her mom. I mean, I
Her
could
mom,
see
I could see
her
her mom.
losing her mind, or I
Yeah.
could see her literally
Look, it's my
not
daughter.
knowing
do
the
all
book.
of it. Yeah.
Literally not knowing the book happened because she
Oh,
like
yeah.
just because she had the other daughter that she's just like nobody can find her because they all never spoke of her. Nobody even knows her name anymore. So I could see
Mhm.
her mom. It's like she left when she was what 11, 12, being like, oh, she doesn't exist anymore. Never
Mhm.
gonna speak of her.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know any of this has occurred.
Yeah. I don't know. I could also
Mhm.
see her being like, look at how like, because she's
Mm-hmm.
crazy enough,
Mm-hmm.
being like, look at what my daughter has done, and
Mhm.
blah blah blah, and like she's just being brainwashed by her father.
Yeah.
I wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm. It's all a trick. It's all
Yeah.
Joey, the one solid person in her life.
Yeah.
It's all his fault.
I don't know. I would just be interested. Like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not an article
Mhm.
out there that says, I cannot believe,
Mhm.
or suing
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
ooh, what was it? The girl who wrote Educated. How there's all the contention between, like, her and her family over what
Mhm.
happened.
Yeah.
We need to get Sharon to read this for other book club. That way we
Yeah.
can have a meeting with Stephanie and be like, listen, hey, we have some questions.
Yeah.
Give us the latest goss. Which this one, I mean, would honestly fit with some of the stuff we've read for other book clubs.
Yeah.
So I'll have to remember that come suggestion time. I don't think I've seen other people talking about it.
Mm-mm.
Maybe we'll get her into
Also,
someday.
I love the cover art on this
It's
book.
so
It's so
pretty.
pretty. And just like all the little details and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I love it. Very, very pretty.
I was telling my mom the other
Yeah.
day, it's like, when we get done with this book club, it's like, I need you to read this book, and I need Allie to read this book, and I need Brett to read this book. It's like, I need all of us to learn about our CPTSD that we all definitely have.
What are we reading next month? That's also got a very pretty cover.
This month,
This month, yeah. Sorry.
we are reading Marsha. There's a
By
colon
Tourmaline.
and then more
It's
words.
by Tourmaline.
Yes. About Marsha P. Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I started it. I got through like the first chapter the other day. I like it so far.
Mm-hmm. It's newly released. That
Yes.
was my bad. So
Mhm.
it is going to be a little bit more expensive. The cheapest place to get it right now, unless you can borrow it from a friend, is on Amazon Kindle.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was $15 versus the 30.
Or
I think it
bully
was.
your library into getting it.
Yep. But we were between that
Mm-hmm.
and
The
Disco
one about
Witches
Disco
of
Witches.
Fire Island.
Mm-hmm.
Which all came out. Oh, and a Bob the Drag Queen book.
Yes.
About Harriet Tubman.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot remember the rest of that title. I feel bad. But yeah, we picked some very good books for this month. Ended up on the Marsha P. Johnson one. I think it's going to be really, really good. It talks about her life as an advocate and just who she was. So I'm very excited.
It'll be fun.